The long-standing issue of the Speaker's appointment witnessed some development yesterday. The chairman duo of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, after a break of 5 days, finally came face-to-face to hold a meeting which was billed as positive by the Pushpakamal Dahal camp but inconclusive by the KP Sharma Oli faction. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. Chairman duo Oli and Dahal break stalemate on Speaker's appointment. A discussion scheduled for today expected to finalize on the candidate. Recent remarks by Pushpakamal Dahal, one of the architects of the armed insurgency, put the conflict-era cases into further turmoil rather than seeking justice delivery. Nepal Airlines Corporation's financial loss escalates as the planes brought from China continue to remain grounded. Scenario highlights the corporation's poor decision-making ability. And the ongoing Martyrs Memorial A-Division League football fails to live up to expectations. Only 74 goals scored in 42 matches, which speaks volume about the poor finishing of the strikers. Let's begin with the national political updates. The ruling Nepal Communist Party chairman duo KP Sharma Oli and Pushpakamal Dahal are to hold a discussion today as well to finalize the candidate for the vacant post of Speaker. According to sources, the leadership duo will show due leniency to break the stalemate. The chairman duo had held a meeting yesterday as well, however, could not reach a decision. Meanwhile, Dahal's secretariat had called the duo's meeting as a step ahead. Standing Committee member Haribol Gajurel, who is also close to Dahal, has said today's meeting would finalize on the name of the Speaker. The Prime Minister's Secretariat has stated that the same as well. According to leaders close to the Premier, aspirant and former Speaker Subhas Chandra Nemwang has stated that the decision fully resided on the chairman duo and that the decision should be made before the Parliament session began. Sources have said Prime Minister and Chairman Oli was upset with Dahal following his participation at a meeting held at senior leader Bamdev Gautam's residence. Yesterday's meeting between the chairman duo took place after a break of 5 days. The regular proceedings at the ongoing winter session has been obstructed due to the absence of a speaker, as both the leaders have stood firm on their stances for the candidate. The session of the House of Representatives called to fix the schedule for the election of the Speaker has been postponed 3 times already. The next session has been called for Monday next week. The transitional justice and peace process had begun some 13 years ago. However, in more than a decade, criminal cases of the conflict era have not been resolved, and the victims and their families are yet to see justice. Meanwhile, gauging by the recent remarks of one of the architects of the armed insurgency, Pushpakamal Dahal, who is now the executive chairman of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, it seems the insurgency-era cases have further marred into turmoil rather than seeking justice delivery.
र आदरणीय जनसमुदाय यो सत्य होइन, यो सत्य होइन। सत्य के हो? सत्य के हो मलाई भन्न दिनुहोस्। सत्य के हो भने हिजोको सामन्ती राजाहरूले 12,000 मारेका हुन्, मलाई 5,000 को जिम्मा दिनुहुन्छ भने म लिन्छु।
Ruling party Pushpakamal Dahal had to say at an event held in the capital's Turikhel on the occasion of Maghi on Wednesday. This was the first time Dahal spoke in public regarding the criticisms that the government and the stakeholders had been facing for failing to deliver justice to the victims of the armed insurgency period. This remark by Dahal, who has served as Prime Minister twice since the Comprehensive Peace Accord, has created quite a few ripples in the country's politics. The 2 commissions formed to attend to the cases of the conflict era failed to deliver justice despite an extension of its tenure and has remained defunct in the absence of office bearers for almost a year now. Right activists opine leaders like Dahal are making such statements to prolong the process and dodge international human rights regulations.
गरेको नेतृत्व गर्न सक्ने क्यूमा प्रमुख प्रतिपक्षी दलको नेता पनि न्याय नदिएको हुनाले हिजो बेपत्ता पारिएका छन्। धेरै मान्छे पीडककै सूचीमा पर्नुहुन्छ र अब विपक्षलाई गोलबद्ध गर्न खोजेको बाबुराम भट्टराईजी पनि यी कुराहरूमा पीडकको घनघोर पक्षपाती र पीडितको घोर विरोधी मानसिकता लिएर हिँड्नु भएको छ। यो त दुर्भाग्य हो। त्यसकारण बलियो नागरिक आन्दोलन र अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय समुदायको दबाब भयो भने यो तुरन्त बन्छ र धेरथोर पीडित मैत्री हुन्छ होला, नभए यो पार लाग्दैन। उहाँहरू यसलाई पार नलाउने दिशामा अगाडि बढिरहनु भएको छ।
Meanwhile, some experts feel Dahal put forth the issue for a distraction from the ruling party's internal disputes. However, there is no denying that associating these cases to politics would continue to deprive justice to the victims. Political influences and interferences on sensitive cases as such raise the risk of overshadowing the agenda of transformation, while there are chances of inciting further conflicts in the coming days. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. Welcome back. Nepal Airlines Corporation's financial loss has escalated as the airplanes brought from China have continued to be grounded one after another. The corporation's inability to bring airplanes into use for a long time has raised questions on the national flag carrier's reliability and decision-making capability. We have a report.
5 of the airplanes bought by the national flag carrier NSC have been grounded, with only 13 in operation at the moment. The corporation so far only used 1 out of the 2 AMA-60 airplanes with a capacity of 260 passengers, each brought from China on grant and subsidized loan. 4 other 58-seater Y-12 and Y-19 brought from China have not come into operation either. The corporation has cited technical glitches, lack of skilled and experienced human resources, and the complicated process of retrieving parts as the reasons behind grounding the airplanes. The corporation has expressed grievances towards lack of government initiatives and lack of support from the Chinese manufacturers Avic Air for maintenance works. Officials of NSC opine it is the responsibility of Tourism Ministry to take initiative to repair the airplanes as they were brought through government-to-government or G2G process. Meanwhile, the ministry sources say the Chinese side has not provided airplane operators and engineers despite repeated requests. The airplanes were bought with over $3.5 billion loan investment from Chinese Exim Bank. Nepal has yet to clear 10% of the loan amount to the bank. Meanwhile, the corporation has been using the 19-seater DC-H-6 purchased from Canada 30 years ago, as the Canadian side provides required engineers and technicians whenever required to avoid grounding of the airplane for technical reasons. However, the Chinese side has failed to provide technicians for the required amount of time. Experts feel the situation depicts extreme negligence on behalf of both the sides, as the airplanes remain grounded for petty reasons, and that it sends a negative message regarding Nepal-China relations.
It's time now for the international update. The 100 lawmakers of the U.S. Senate were sworn in yesterday as jurors for the impending impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court John Roberts administered the oath to the senators to do impartial justice. In the coming weeks, the senators will decide whether President Trump should be removed from office over charges brought by the House of Representatives. The trial is scheduled to begin on 21st of January. President Trump is accused of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Trump has denied wrongdoing and branded the case against him as a hoax. Democrats allege the president withheld $391 million in military aid in order to pressure Ukraine to investigate his political rival, Joe Biden. Trump is the 3rd U.S. president to be impeached. The previous 2, Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton, were not removed from office. A 2/3 majority in the Senate is required to oust a president. As Trump's Republicans control the Senate, he is widely expected to be acquitted. Trump's defense team has not been formally announced, but White House lawyers Pat Cipollone and Jay Sekulow have been tipped to lead it. And we have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break. Welcome back. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the mayors and deputy mayors of the local level in Kanchanpur, how is corruption taking place at the local level? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
कर्मचारी 11 बजे आयो अथवा 10:30 बजे आयो त्यो पनि भ्रष्टाचार हो समयभित्र पुग्नु पर्यो
अनुगमन गर्नुपर्छ अनुगमनको पनि कार्यविधिमा के छ कार्यविधि अनुसार हामीले यदि अनुगमन गरेपछि वास्तवमा भ्रष्टाचार एकदमै कम हुन्छ भ्रष्टाचार हुँदैन
जब 1 करोडको त्यो छ त्यसको 50 लाखमा बन्छ भनेपछि त्यो कसरी भयो भने त्यो त तपाईहरुको पनि एक त यदि त्यसरी जान्छ भने तपाईहरुले पनि खोजी नीति गर्नुपर्छ
कर्मचारीको हातमा अहिले पनि आर्थिक कार्यभार सबै उहाँहरुको हातमा छ त्यसकारणले पनि अब बीचको हुन नसकेको कोर्डिनेसनहरुमा कतै काहीँ चाहिँ यस्ता फाटफुट्ट भ्रष्टाचार कुराहरु आइरहेका छन्
कार्यक्रमको लागत खर्चहरु एस्टिमेट बनाएर त्यसरी हामी गइरहेको अवस्था छ र अहिलेसम्म हामीले चाहिँ सुन्नमा पाएको छैन
And it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question. What's your take on the inability of Nepal Airlines Corporation to operate available airplanes? Your options are A, incapable management, B, irresponsible officials, and C, technical problems. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the sports news.
Sports news.
The 7th round of the Martyrs Memorial A-Division League football will start from today. League leaders Machindra Club will face Himalayan Sherpa Club in the first match of the 7th round today. The match is scheduled to kick off at 3 this afternoon at the capital's Dashrath Stadium. Machindra Club is still undefeated in the tournament. Machindra leads the league table, securing 13 points from 6 matches with 4 wins and 2 draws. If Machindra wins today, it has an opportunity to take a 3-point lead from Tribhuvan Army Club, which also has 13 points and is in the 2nd spot of the points table. Himalayan Sherpa Club is in the 13th position of the league table, securing 4 points with 4 draws and 2 losses. The ongoing Martyrs Memorial A-Division League football has failed to live up to expectations in the absence of quality football and competition. We have a report.
At the end of 6th round of the ongoing Martyrs Memorial A-Division League, the matches have failed to produce the flavour and excitement of the top league of the country. Barring Tribhuvan Army and 3-Star, the performance of other teams has been far from satisfactory despite boasting of star-studded lineups. The on-pitch wrangling of Machindra and Manang has overshadowed their performances. Only 74 goals have been scored in 42 matches so far, which speaks volume about the poor finishing of the strikers. Football is not just about goals, but 13 matches ended in a draw, while 6 matches were goalless draws. The football governing body in the country, ENFA, for this season has said that only one team will be relegated to the B division. At the same time, clubs have not invested much this season as league champion will not be eligible to play in the AFC Championship. Likewise, in the absence of solid domestic structure, teams do not have the luxury of choosing players from a strong bench. A handful of spectators present in most of the matches commented that the football quality was like 2 localities playing rather than prestigious top domestic league.
And now, before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Chairman duo Oli and Dahal break stalemate on Speaker's appointment. A discussion scheduled for today expected to finalize on the candidate. Recent remarks by Pushpa Kamal Dahal, one of the architects of the armed insurgency, put the conflict era cases into further turmoil rather than seeking justice delivery. Nepal Airlines Corporation's financial loss escalates as the airplanes brought from China continue to remain grounded. Scenario highlights the corporation's poor decision-making ability. And the ongoing Martyrs Memorial A-Division League football fails to live up to expectations. Only 74 goals in 42 matches, which speaks volume about the poor finishing of the strikers. And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.